All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome back, guys. Good morning, good morning. Happy Friday, everyone. Welcome back, guys. Happy Friday. Hope everyone's having a good week so far. Goldie pushing all-time highs again. Which has been incredible. Video and audio, good, awesome. Welcome back, guys. Happy Friday. Good to see some familiar faces back in the YouTube chat again. It's a great week to be a gold trader, that's for sure. Gold has been absolutely phenomenal this week. Absolutely phenomenal. If any of you guys are new here, you guys are tuning in on Topstep. My name is Aaron Trades. I've been trading for about 7 years, mainly focusing on trading commodity futures here in the European session. I've been streaming on my own channel for the past 3 years, and now we're bringing the London streams over to the Topstep channel. So welcome to any new faces. Good to see some familiar people in here as well. Already building a nice community in here already, which is awesome. 140 of you tuning in, which is amazing. Good morning, everyone. How's everyone's week been so far? Hey, Robert. I do, absolutely, man. Absolutely. Help me get all set up here. Good to have you tuning in. Let me just have a quick look at the news today before we do anything here on gold. Yeah, been good. It's been a good week on gold. It's been a very, very good week. One of you guys did post earlier saying you had a nice trade today following the strategy. Feels good to trade so well. So that's amazing. Considering we're only the first week in, you're already picking up the elements of the way that I trade gold. That is absolutely incredible. So keep it up. Keep it up. It's amazing, amazing to see. So we do have some news coming out today. Now these times will be a little bit funny because it's based on my time zone here. But we do have US PPI this afternoon, US morning time. Just taking a quick look before heading to bed. Nice, Robert. Appreciate you tuning in. I assume it's pretty late there. Where's everyone tuning in from again? You guys who are tuning here on TopstepTV, where's everyone tuning in from? I know a lot of you guys do like to stay up early for these London, stay up late for these London sessions. So I appreciate you guys tuning in. How's everyone's week been? More importantly, have you guys found the markets? Have you guys made money this week? Lost money? Break even? Because you know it's been a very crazy week. A very, very, very crazy week on gold on all markets. So even if you guys, like I said earlier, have survived this week, you're doing very, very well because these markets are huge, absolutely ripping. So you got Mexico, France, US, Cali, Oregon, nice. South Africa, Darwin, nice. You got people in America, Europe, Australia, Mexico. That's incredible. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. One thing we will do this morning, guys, like I said, we will do every single session, whether we call the direction right or wrong. We will recap what we spoke about yesterday because, yeah, gold had some phenomenal moves again yesterday. You know, we spoke about how in the London session, and I haven't changed this since we spoke about this yesterday, guys, but remember when we jumped on our London session, let me just go to the 30-minute, gold was having a little bit of a pullback. And when we actually jumped on, and when we jumped off, I should say, gold was, let me just hide all of this for a second, just so we can actually focus on what is, it doesn't hide it. Can I put it behind the candles? Bring to the front. Yeah, awesome. There we go. So, nice. Look at it. Everyone shooting in Las Vegas. Amazing. Lots of you guys from America. I'd love to get over to do an American trip at some point this year. I've only been to America twice, so I'd absolutely love to go over there at some point. It's cool to see you guys tuning in. Like I was saying yesterday, hey Nate, welcome back. When gold was pushing lower yesterday, guys, remember I spoke about, you guys who were here on the stream yesterday, how, you know, although gold could pull back, it wasn't really of my interest to try and short gold, given the fact that gold had been so bullish. And what I was saying to you guys yesterday is we have this nice support level here. And what I was saying is if price can actually close back above this level, you're going to have a very nice fake out buy opportunity. And you could also form a very nice inverse head and shoulders. And that's exactly what you did. So it took until about 11 a.m. London time. But what I was saying in our stream yesterday is a lot of people will probably be shorting like this, trying to call the tops on gold, which you know, I was openly saying yesterday, it's not to say that gold, you know, can't pull back and hold some levels, but it's more so that that's not my trade. When gold has been so bullish, my trade and my preferred direction is to follow the markets. Like I said to you guys, I don't want to be fighting the markets. I have nothing to try and prove to the markets. I don't care about being right or wrong. But what I do care about is following them and being in flow with them and not trying to fight them. So this is where I said yesterday, I would imagine a lot of people are probably trying to sell this on gold. And if a lot of people are probably trying to sell this at any fake out buy opportunity, which was a closure above this zone that we spoke about yesterday, to me, that's a fantastic place to look to buy. And where would you be looking to target? You'd be looking to target these highs up here, which was around 3160. So buys from this support to continue pushing up into here was about 275 ticks, which is very, very big on gold. Any of you guys who are maybe new to trading gold, that's a very, very big move. Taking that at literally just one contract, 275 ticks, that's $2,750. Like, that's a very, very, very big move on gold. So really, really nice to see gold ripping all-time highs yesterday again. Nice to see the liquidity levels playing out as well. So we'll clean this up. Gold has just been absolutely phenomenal. I did like some 15-minute buys here earlier as well. One thing we've been speaking a lot about this week is these morning and evening star plays. Well, gold had a fantastic morning star here. How you came down. Let me just show you guys. And I actually hesitated a little bit on this one. I was a little bit skeptical trading gold today. I haven't taken any new positions today. Just given gold was peaking all-time highs, and you know, we've had such a phenomenal run up this week that I would imagine a lot of people who are coming onto gold today are probably taking profits, and you could create some quite corrective price action. So I was a little bit hesitant trading gold today. I drew this up. I didn't execute it. I was happy to just sit on my hands and let it play out. But my thought process was simply prices coming down, liquidating these lows. And as soon as I saw this candle grab the lows and close holding support, I was like, this 15-minute to buy, just to hold, come back up and retest these levels just for a little pullback trade is a nice position. And that there alone was like, you know, another 80 ticks, which is just amazing. So yeah, if you guys have been taking advantage of gold buys this week, you're doing it very, very well, because we saw gold hit new all-time highs today. Actually, it wasn't actually yesterday. I thought it was yesterday. It wasn't. Today we have come up and hit new all-time highs. So what have we already hit here on gold? Gold has just been phenomenal. What have we hit highs of? We hit highs of 3241.5 here on the future chart. Absolutely incredible. New all-time highs. Gold has just been, you know, from holding this weekly level, holding the support, holding 3,000. This week has just been huge on gold. Absolutely huge. Probably one of the biggest weeks I think I may have ever seen on gold. I've been trading gold for a long time. If you measure this week is a 2,500 tick push, which is insane for gold. You know, if you can zoom in here and think, oh, you know, this is going to be the norm, but it's only when you zoom out and you're like, wow, this is like a month's worth of price action in, you know, 2 days pretty much. So gold has just been incredible wednesday, just smashing higher, and that's why, you know, I kind of since Wednesday, I have had no desire to short gold. And I'd happily be wrong on my bias, but as soon as I see, you know, price grabbing daily lows, holding major support and pushing up, like I said to you guys, you know, you want to get comfortable at following the markets. Your best trades are going to come when you can just get in flow the markets and not try and fight them so much. So I haven't had any desire to take any sells on gold, which I haven't taken a single sell position. I'm just wanting to be following this price and following the momentum, which has just been absolutely incredible. I know stocks did have a bit of a pullback. NASDAQ had a bit of a pullback yesterday as well. But no new trades for me so far this week. You guys saw me yesterday. I've been copy trading across the 4 Topstep accounts, but I've taken that off here today because I'm about to take a payout on this account, which you guys have seen the growth that we've been showing since January, since we've had this funded account with Topstep. We're just focusing on slow, consistent growth. It's currently up about 3.7 thousand, which was copied across 4 other accounts, and now it's time to take a payout on this. It's been a good few months, but I can feel like, you know, you need to reward yourself for your efforts at some point. Otherwise, it just becomes numbers on a screen, and you can get too glued to you know, the equity curve or the P&L. So sometimes it's good just to pay yourself, even if it's just something small, and actually have the money and be like, wow, this is what I actually made. Otherwise, it's so easy to see just numbers on a screen and not actually realize how much progression you're actually making. So I'll be taking a payout this soon. We're up about 1,000 this week. I've only traded Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So this copied across 4 other accounts is about 4,000 for the week, which is very, very nice. Very, very nice. And that, again, has literally just been trading gold, as you guys always see. And as I always talk about, that's literally just been trading gold. Do I trade copper? Yeah, I do actually. I haven't in a while, just because gold has been so nice. But we did start to look at it a lot more, especially when, you know, gold is actually at all-time highs. Like when gold's hitting new all-time highs, it's difficult for me to trade up there because I don't want to be selling all-time highs and I don't really want to be buying all-time highs. So I started to look at copper a lot more this year, and it looks like it follows the same way that I do trade gold, which is quite nice. So let's have a little look at copper. It's Friday today, so it's important to quickly have a look at what has the week done so far. We can see here on copper, we've came down to some very, very nice support levels. And what did we actually do here on copper? Look at where we tapped into. We tapped right into this previous low here and instantly found support. So very, very, very nice reaction here on gold. Very, very nice reaction. Gold, sorry, I'm used to saying gold. Very nice reaction here on copper. So just looking at this weekly, well, this is the thing, you know, you hit all-time highs on copper. You came up, you tagged these highs, you had this really nice sell-off, and then you've instantly bounced here as well. So, if I was going to be trading copper, just looking at this weekly, which are having a really nice bounce, my preferred bias would be long. However, you can see we had that lovely push 2 days ago. We had this lovely push up. Yesterday closed a little bit bearish, a little bit doji. So I would like to see this squeeze a little bit higher. But given the fact that yesterday, you know, didn't close incredibly bullish, coming on to copper today, I could justify either side. I'd be pretty neutral on copper today. You have a nice little trend line coming down here as well. So this is actually looking quite nice. If anyone who is maybe selling here on copper, they're looking to put stops just above here, which at any pullback opportunity, you could be looking to squeeze copper a little bit higher. You had a nice little bounce off this support here as well. So I'll be watching around here on copper, let's say about 30, call it 4.39 is a nice level to see if we can see copper squeeze a little bit higher. Good night, Robert. Thank you for tuning in. Hope to see you on soon as well, man. Good night. Same as if I was trading, you know, you guys who are maybe new to the way that I trade, is the way that I like to trade trend lines is exactly what happened on the euro, which we spoke about as well. We spoke about the euro trend line coming down here. A lot of people trying to short this trend line, and that's where I'd be saying, you know, that's where I would like to be buying up into this trend line. And look at the euro. The euro this week has just been absolutely ripping, which in terms of how would I trade that on copper, well, very similar outlook. You know, it's not to say you can't have a little initial bounce off this trend line, but what I would be looking at for copper is to come down, hold some support. And I would prefer to squeeze this higher. I think copper can come back up and test like 4.47s to, you know, 4.48-ish. I like copper to continue pushing higher personally. But for gold today, guys, I don't think we ran over what we actually want to see for gold today. So obviously we know gold is very, very, very bullish. We are currently peaking all-time highs here today in the Asian session. So do I really want to be a seller on gold? Not really. Does that mean I can't take a little, you know, maybe some pullback scalp trades? You can, you know, maybe to come back down and hold some areas down here. Let me just turn this down a little bit. Hey, Chow, welcome back. You know, you can see this previous hourly. We came up, we liquidated the previous high. We held this all-time high resistance, and we've had a pretty decent sell-off here already in London at 6 a.m. So you're already getting some very nice volume here on gold. So could you come down and maybe fill in this wick rejection and come and squeeze into these levels a little bit more? Yeah, I think so. I think that could be nice. Let's just have a look at the 30-minute. So what did we see here on gold? So we saw, let's have a look. We bounced off this support. We came up. Where did we tap into? Nice big level of resistance. Liquidated a lot of hourly highs. and had this really, really nice big pushback lower. That's why for my 15-minute trade that I was looking at, which was the buys on gold, this was all I was really looking to target, just for a little retracement area to come back up and, you know, hold these areas, because Asia's been pretty slow today on gold. That's why I haven't really traded today, you know, and this is the 15-minute time frame, so you've kind of ranged from, even from here, like 2:30 London time, all the way until 5:15. You've kind of ranged, and you kind of held this massive support, and you tried to bounce off this support, tried to bounce, finally broke it, and then came back up, held it, and had this really nice big push lower. That's why if I was buying here on today on gold, just be to come up and just, very simple, you know, you kind of see it's a nice little break and retest level. But what is it also very similar to, which I shared with you guys on the buys yesterday, is it's very similar to where you sort of have this sort of inverse head and shoulders. You can kind of see you did the same thing to the highs, where you have this, and again, this is a formation that gold loves to play as well. Nice little left shoulder, there's your head, came up for that right shoulder, lovely, lovely sell-off. My voice is a little less. Yeah, apologies, I usually stream from my office, which I did at the start of the week. However, I've been having Wi-Fi issues at the office, so I don't have my proper mic with me. But next week we'll be back to the office as normal, but hopefully you guys can still hear me clear. Yeah, I have my better microphone back next week. I don't know why my office wanted to have some Wi-Fi technical issues this week, just in time for jumping on with you guys, but it should still be okay. I can turn it up a little bit. Sounds good. Cool. So what we want to see coming on gold today, well, let's have a quick look at this 4 hour. So what do we do on the 4 hour? 4 hour came up, grabbed the previous highs, nice little sell-off. Yeah, it does look like we are trying to pull back a little bit. So if I wanted to short gold for a little pullback, which, you know, would weigh more risk as gold has been so bullish, I would probably accept that, you know, gold's been very, very bullish. So if I do want to sell it, would I trade the same size that I would if I was buying gold? Well, not really, because, you know, if I'm trading, you know, one mini buying gold and gold's been overall bullish, or if I'm going to sell gold, which is kind of going against the main overall trend, I don't really want to be doing that at big size. Kind of see we are holding this support here though. And we do have some levels up here as well, which is a bit of a range for the day. But if you actually measure this, this is a 162 tick range. This is a very, very, very worthwhile range. And gold can create ranges a lot. And that doesn't mean you can't trade the ranges. You just kind of have to accept them, maybe reduce your expectations a little bit, and make sure it's actually a big enough range to trade. For instance, here today in Asia, you know, this is a range where it's not worth it. It's too choppy. The range is too small. However, this range from, you know, this support and this resistance, this is very nice. This is, you know, way over 100 ticks, which is absolutely more than enough. I would like to keep a little eye on copper though. Maybe we can see if we can get some copper trade. To me, copper is looking nicer than gold right now because you have a lot of trendline liquidity. You're not peaking at all-time highs. Whereas when gold is at all-time highs, you know, it can get a little bit tough. It's fine now because now we have price action to the left of base trades off. But when you're actually, you know, up here hitting all-time highs, this is kind of where I get a little bit more patient. Because like I say, I don't want to be selling all-time highs. And I also don't really want to be buying all-time highs. So I can buy into when I have price action to the left. So we'll see what we get for London today. Let me just see what time the news is London time today. Let's have a quick look. Because we do have, yeah, we got core PPI 1:30 London time, and then we have consumer sentiment 3 p.m. London time as well. So ending off the week strong. I'll be on TopstepTV as well today, guys, for the US session. I'll be on at 10 a.m. Central Time, which will be about 1 a.m. Brisbane time. So if you guys are tuning into the Topstep TV today, I will absolutely be there. Yeah, you could get a nice bounce. Well, I'm kind of waiting for here. We're about to get this first 30-minute close of our session in about 6 minutes. So let's see if copper does close like this. Then you may actually look for more of a morning star play where where are we? We could go. So if this 30-minute closes as bearish as this, you may look to play more of a morning star play, where the 30-minute may come down, liquidate the previous lows, hold the support, close a little bit doji. We're getting the art out again. And then that's when the next 30-minute, that's when you could then potentially start to see that push up. When news release, does this result affect your bias? Yeah, absolutely. The news is what drives the markets. Absolutely. The technicals can be in place, but the news is what's really going to drive the markets. For instance, yesterday the news came out bullish for gold, which sent gold higher, which is why we saw NASDAQ have a bit of a sell-off yesterday. After having that, you know, incredible push up yesterday, you now had a little bit of a sell-off yesterday, which was pretty difficult to short, for me anyway, because you had been so bullish. I didn't really want to be fighting that. Could you talk about how you could have shorted gold to the current support? Yeah, I mean, it's not a short I would take personally. Just given the fact that gold has been so bullish, I would rather let the markets pull back, and then I would look to continue buying it. So I wouldn't have shorted it, but was there an opportunity to short it following our plan? Not really, to be honest. I kind of saw this 15-minute, you know, grab the support here, and if we just kind of hide off, sometimes it's easy to see what's already happened and being like, oh, like, you know, how could I have shorted that? Well, for me, I personally wouldn't have sold that on gold. Although the nice thing is, you know, you did come up and you did liquidate highs, hold the resistance, and then sell off nicely. I still wouldn't have sold that because gold's been so bullish. You know, I like the buys up into these levels, but you kind of see, like I said, you know, you did have this head and shoulders formation. You did come up, you liquidate some 15-minute highs, which was also hourly highs as well. You know, you had this big all-time high resistance that's being created here in the Asian session. So, you know, maybe, you know, as you're grabbing the highs and looking like you're going to close back below this resistance, as this hourly starts to wick back down, that's when, you know, you can start to drop down to maybe the 5-minute and you can see, oh, cool, you know, we're grabbing some highs, we're closing bearish. So maybe I could have shorted here and just played it down into these levels, which is, you know, it's not the worst trade because you did come down and grab these highs. It's just not my preferred direction to want to short gold at all-time highs, and that's just me. But there was, yeah, you know, if I clean this up for a second, you actually came up, you liquidated the highs, you had this lovely breakout, which kind of, you want the markets to confirm that what you're thinking is correct. So if you were looking for shorts, well, you'd want price to actually close back below this level. Then, you know, maybe you can start shorting and, you know, maybe you could have shorted here, risked off here, and, you know, look to manage around these lows here. If you were looking for sells, I personally just haven't really been looking for sells here on gold today. I want to be kind of doing what we said yesterday, which we've got 2 minutes until this 30-minute close, where you guys remember we said yesterday, because gold has been so bullish, I wanted to see fake out buys opportunity. Well, that's exactly what happened yesterday. So, you know, when when gold's moving down like this, a lot of people start thinking, oh, you know, like this is just going to have a full-blown reversal and gold's going to come all the way back down. Whereas I see this down, I'm like, oh, great. This, to me, with knowing in the back of my mind how bullish gold has been, this, to me, is a retracement to look for great buying opportunities. Whereas I think a lot of people will see this push down and be like, oh, no, I need to short. Like, this is the top. Gold's going to have a massive drop. And, you know, you end up thinking too much. As opposed to, I was like, okay, cool. My bias today for gold is bullish, following how bullish the market has been. So therefore, let me just wait for opportunities to break back above and simply follow the markets. And that move yesterday, you know, was incredible. So pretty similar here today. You know, if we start closing, you know, back above these levels, well, great. This could, again, fake out buys and we could continue pushing. Very, very, very similar to this, right? You close below the support, you close back above, you had a really nice drive up. Very, very similar. If we can close back above, we could have a really nice drive up and we could come and test these all-time highs that were created in Asia. Yeah, it's a good call. Maintaining the bias and only trading in one direction. Absolutely. I mean, you know, there is times when I come on the markets and I'll give you guys an example. I don't come onto the markets every single day with like, you know, my bias is bullish, I'm only going long. You know, sometimes there might be days in the markets where, you know, you're creating a little bit of a range, and I'll come onto the days on these days and be like, well, I'm much more neutral today. I can, you know, justify sells and longs because markets are ranging. So on these days, you know, or even here, for example, I come on the charts and I'm like, oh, cool. On an intraday time frame, you know, I could sell these little pullbacks. I could buy these pullbacks. That's fine. However, you know, when gold has been as bullish as this, my bias is very simple. Do I want to be a seller trying to short gold when it's pushing up as much as this? Not really, because if I try and short gold today and I get stopped out, like I've been mentioning all week, you know, I'm going to be pretty frustrated at myself because I know that I'm fighting the markets and the markets are pushing up. So, you know, in times like this, I just, you know, my bias is long, but that's not all the time. You know, sometimes I do try and come on the charts with, you know, not really a bias at all and be open to whatever the markets give me. However, you know, when we've been pushing up like, you know, 1,000 tick days, it's hard for me to ignore that. But yeah, when I come on the charts today, like for instance, same as yesterday, you know, given the fact that we grabbed lows, closed so bullish yesterday, yeah, coming onto this day, if this day completely reversed and pushed down, I would be totally fine with missing that, and I would short it today. But when you've grabbed lows, held, you know, 3,000, you're having a massive 1,000+ tick push. Yeah, I come onto the charts on this day, I'm going, yeah, me personally, I'm only looking for longs. I want to be following that. So same as today. So there is days where, you know, you can come on the charts and you can be more neutral and you can take that more flexible approach. Absolutely. We do that probably most times. However, recently with gold being as bullish as it has been, it's hard for me to want to fight that. Can you talk on NASDAQ for London session? Yeah, absolutely. Let's have a look. I'm just going to fire on the aircon on here, guys. It'll be 2 seconds. Let's have a look. That's the thing, yeah. That's the thing. If you try and short gold, you know, if you try and short gold and you get stopped out and gold's been so bullish, you know, they're the times where you go on tilt because you know gold's been so bullish, and in the back of your mind, you know you shouldn't be shorting it. So if you do short it and you get stopped out, you know, that's when you start revenge trading. That's when you go on tilt, and that's when you blow your account. So again, it's just understanding. It's understanding triggers that may send you on tilt. And with gold, you know, pushing 1,000 tick days, if I short gold, which I know I shouldn't be doing, that is probably going to send me on tilt. Therefore, I just won't do it, and I'll happily just follow the markets. And if I'm wrong, you know, if I'm wrong buying gold, I'll be much happier being wrong buying gold because it's been so bullish rather than being wrong trying to short gold. I don't mind being wrong trying to buy gold. Gold's been so bullish, I'm happy to follow that. But if I'm wrong trying to short gold, yeah, I'm going to get very, very frustrated with myself. That's for sure. Having a look at NASDAQ here for the London session. So you had this really nice push up here on Wednesday, which was very, very nice. A lot of people, you know, have been saying, is this the bottom, you know, and the markets are going to completely reverse? Again, it's not really my job to try and predict that far ahead. I'm not really too interested in trying to be that right in the markets, but what I will do is just react to however the daily's closing. So you had this lovely push up yesterday. So, lovely push up on Wednesday. So yesterday, it would have been, you know, if I was trading NASDAQ, it would have been very hard for me to want to short this. However, look at where the daily's just come into. The daily's just come into some very nice support levels, around 18,000, call it pretty much 18,000, right on the dot. We broke above 18,000. We've now held it, and we're already trying to squeeze up higher. And remember, it's Friday, so it's kind of 1 second chart. Let's not do that. It is Friday, so let's have a look at this weekly chart. Well, where did this weekly tap into? Look at that. We came in some lovely level support. This is simple technicals here, guys. Nothing super complex about this. Very, very nice support. Had a beautiful bounce here. So, you know, anything can happen today. But looking at this weekly, looking at this daily, again, I would prefer to be buying these pullbacks here. Now, does that mean, you know, London can't give you some potential pullback short opportunities before New York continues to buy? That's possible. what we can kind of see here, though, is you're already having a very, very nice bounce off this support. Again, I know you guys will get sick of me repeating myself, but the more I repeat myself, the more you'll see it. What is this here, guys? This is a lovely, lovely, lovely morning star. You rejected, you grabbed the lows, retested, held the support, lovely push up. What time is that? 3 a.m. That's the 4-hour time frame. So lovely little morning star there on the 4-hour. So I would like, you know, as long as price, look at this hourly. What did we do here as well, guys? What did we do? We came down. We liquidated the previous low. What would most people have been probably trying to do here? I would assume most people are probably trying to short this market, putting their stops just above this high. So as soon as you see price coming down, grab the lows, cool, you go long. So given the fact that we are trading nicely above this level, would I want to be a seller right now? Well, look, you are also coming into here. This is why, you know, we've been seeing this a lot this week. We're getting some big moves on a lot of markets much earlier than normal. You're coming in some nice resistance. So if you were a buyer here, you know, you'd be looking to manage here. So could you see potential pullbacks from this very nice resistance? Possible. You may squeeze a little bit higher. I wouldn't want to be selling this just yet. If anything, this would have been lovely, 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 lovely buy. If I did want to sell NASDAQ day, just using very, very simple levels, I would like to see this 30-minute actually close nice and bearish, confirm a nice little fake out of this level, and then I could look for a little pullback. Otherwise, there's nothing to say, you know, we can't just hold this nice little support level we're creating here and continue pushing up. So don't think too much about what could happen. We need to think about what's happening right in front of us. Well, we've liquidated a lot of lows and we've had this really nice push up. So let's react to that. The markets have grabbed lows, had a really nice push up here. So if anything, I'd be seeing if you can pull back and see if you can squeeze this a little bit higher. Unless, you know, maybe you get a nice 30-minute fake out. If this 30-minute closes nice and bearish, this is the last 30 of the hourly, then, you know, if we get this 30-minute close and bearish, then the hourly will be leaving a nice little wick rejection, which could be holding resistance, you know, probably close something like this, and then fantastic. Then you could look to push it lower and come back down and retest these levels. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Right now, you've had a lovely push up. You're coming into some resistance. Let price find its feet here. Get this London Open underway, which is in about 22 minutes, and see how this hourly closes. And then that will kind of give you more information as to where we could go for London. You've already had a fantastic move up here. 6 a.m. London time. Held the support, grabbed the lows. Really, really, really nice bounce there. Had a nice push up in Asia, pre-London, followed it. So you're already getting some big pushes here. And these are big pushes, even for the Asian session. You know, these are really, really big pushes. Let me just have a look at this. Is gold still creeping higher, or are we starting to find some resistance? Probably want to see this. Probably want to see this hourly on close as well on gold, because the thing is, the hourly grabbed some highs and closed nice and bearish. So we wouldn't really want to be trading against that just yet. Not yet. You got time here. You got time here on gold. Let's have a look at the currency chart quickly. Yeah, holding support nicely. 3,200, big level. I would love to see gold give us some fake out buy opportunities here for the London session. I would love to see gold get back above here, and then I would like to continue buying into these all-time highs. Is copper shaping up a little bit? I know. We'll have a look at. Oh, look at this on. Oh, this is quite nice actually. Let's keep an eye on this. What did we? How did this 30-minute just close here on copper, guys? What did we do? We have the trendline liquidity coming down. We liquidated the previous 30-minute lows, and we're holding some nice resistance. So could we see copper squeeze higher? Let's have a look. 15-minute came down, grabbed the lows, squeezing a little bit lower. Could see some copper buys today. I wouldn't want to be a seller on copper today personally. My most powerful patterns is understanding the liquidity levels on gold, and that's kind of what we've been doing all week. This is what we've been talking about all week. I've deleted them all now, but we've been giving some fantastic liquidity levels on gold this week. You guys who were here to start the week, we were given some incredible levels. But my powerful patterns are trying to understand what are most people trying to do and how can I take advantage of it. So I'm trying to understand nice key double tops, and I'm looking for buying opportunities up into that. Which, you know, you'll see gold do more and more. So we took buys on gold here on the 8th of April, up into this double top because most people were trying to short. I took buys here again on the 9th of April, buying into where most people were trying to sell. And then same thing again, you guys who were here on the Topstep stream on, what day was it? On the 9th, again, I was saying most people probably trying to short here, continue buying up into these highs here. So I'm trying to understand what are most people trying to do and how can I take advantage of it. Same as the analysis from yesterday as well. We spoke about these highs here as well. And I kind of mentioned to you guys yesterday, I believe a lot of people are probably trying to short this, putting their stops just above this high. And all I was saying, all I need to see is price break back above these levels when you were closing below, and a lot of people were probably getting a bit excited shorts. I said, if you close back above, not only do you have fake out buys, you have a nice little inverse head and shoulders, and you have a nice liquidity level. So that's pretty much my plan. And entries is off lower time frame, and pretty much is using pure price action. Same as the euro as well. I think someone asked me to break this down on Monday. It was the same thing. We were trying to understand what were most people trying to do, which is where we spotted this beautiful trend line coming down. And knowing that the euro is overall bullish, we spotted this trend line coming down. We marked on all of the points, came down, grabbed some lows, held some support beautifully, and had this lovely run up. And the euro has been phenomenal this week. I don't trade the euro very often, but I look at this and go, wow, maybe we should. No, there won't be a Zoom call tonight. Whilst I'm on TopstepTV band, no, unfortunately not. It's just I'll just be on for about 30 minutes, just talking about the London streams. Could you talk about if gold gives a 30-minute fake out? What would you look for on the 5-minute? Yeah, sure. Let's have a look. So we may actually get it here together. Actually, we may get it here together. Let me see. It's the same thing, you know. It's the same plan, just on a lower time frame. So kind of here, you know, I spoke about the 15-minute buys before. Same thing again, you know. I want to see price come down, grab lows, hold support, and then I'll get long, and you know, I'll take my buys. So if I'm looking for gold to have this nice 30-minute fake out here, which is looking like we may actually get, what I would like to see is, you know, I'd like to see this 5-minute, you know, close. We're getting the art out again. We're getting the art drawings out. 5-minute close like this or something, and then, you know, maybe the next 5-minute comes down, liquidates the previous 5-minute lows, and then that's when I can look to get long and see if we can play this up higher. And then that will kind of be my little 5-minute liquidity grab, for example. It doesn't have to be that in depth, and you know, that can be my stop, and then I can look to play this higher. So once I get my 30-minute confirmation that we're closing back above level, all I like to see on the 5-minute is just, you know, grabbing some lows, breaking out. For instance, for the downside here today, we grab lows, grabbed highs, close bearish, take the short. You grab lows, close bullish, take the buys. Exactly the same thing. Exactly the same thing. Discord between if you want to learn about strategies. My YouTube channel is pinned in the description of this Topstep stream. I post plenty of trade breakdowns on my YouTube channel. Anytime we take trades on stream, I always break them down into trade recaps as well. I don't just cherry pick random trade breakdowns that I do on my channel. It's all trades that we've taken on stream together as well. How long we got to this 30-minute close? We're going to get the 15 close. You may actually get 15-minute fake out buys here. Look at this 15. This is looking pretty nice. You had this little resistance here. You broke above it. You held it, and you're already squeezing higher here. It's already looking quite nice. I'm going to get my currency chart down here. Let's have a look. Squeezing higher. Coming into some big levels, though. London Open is in about 15 minutes. It's currently 7:44 London time. London Open is at 8 a.m. 8 a.m. London time. Hi Aaron, hey Robbie. There is a big red 15-minute candle on GC and price just crossed over the 50% mark. Is that something you look at? Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Not really. I used to use Fibonacci. I haven't set it up on here. I used to use Fibonacci, but I don't use it too much anymore. Sometimes I'll look at fibs for more of like a swing trading perspective, but for intraday trading, I don't really use it too much. But yeah, would I short 50% of this push down? Not really, because you're closing above. Let me just keep an eye. I don't want to miss the copper buys either. Oh, look at this on copper, guys. This is starting to look nice. This 15 did close a little bit doji, but this 30-minute could set up here on copper. You're watching this trend line coming down. You're grabbing some lows, holding some nice support, closing bullish. So this copper could be shaping up. I haven't traded copper in a good couple of weeks, but it's looking nicer than gold. Yeah, pretty much. As soon as I get my, I love to trade the 5-minute, but the 5-minute can get tough when you open your charts and go straight to the 5-minute. You're trying to jump in sells, and you're trying to jump in longs, and you're trying to jump in sells and then longs, and you can get chopped up quite a lot on the 5-minute. So I will only use the 5-minute for entry once I have my high time frame confirmation. So, a 5-minute closure above a 30-minute level of resistance isn't enough for me to take a long, because the 5-minute might close above and then close back below and then start pushing down, and you'll look back at the 30 and you go, oh damn, why was I buying gold already? We hadn't closed above this level yet. So as soon as we do get this closure above, say if this 30 closes above like this, fantastic. As soon as I get that closure, yeah, drop down to the 5-minute and see if I can get some buying opportunities, which will also be the hourly close as well. Which, look at this hourly, yeah, you could even, it's tough. You came up, you grabbed the highs, you closed bearish. So buying this current 7 a.m. hourly on candle on gold is tough. But if this hourly can close back above, you have the 30-minute fake out buys, you got the hourly fake out buys, you have gold in the overall bullish uptrend. I think it'd be worth a shot. Let me just have a look at oil. I know oil had a big bounce as well. And you guys who trade oil is at huge support. Support from leading all the way back until 21, which is huge. Massive levels here on oil. $60 is huge support. Look at this on oil. I know some of you guys do like to trade oil. That is an incredible level to see if you can bounce from, and you're already bouncing from it pretty well. Look at this. Came down, you grabbed a lot of lows, you're holding major support. Oil is looking very interesting. Maybe more of a swing trade. I'm not very good at day trading oil. I've had some fantastic swing trades on oil, but day trading oil can be tough. Let's see. So yesterday, what did we do yesterday? Yesterday came up, grabbed the highs, closed bearish. So creating a little bit of a range, which is not really too surprising considering you are so at such major support. I would imagine oil is probably going to come and fill in this major wick. We'll just squeeze it a little bit higher. Let's have a look at copper. I don't want to miss this this copper trade. Oh, there's no top wick on this hourly either. This hourly could flip bullish. I don't usually like the 5-minute here. But yeah, copper to me looks like the nicest opportunity so far here in London. See, this is what I mean, guys. This is, although you got a 5-minute closure above this little resistance here on gold, is that enough to jump in long? Well, if you jump in longs here on gold and you start getting squeezed out, you go back and look at the 30-minute time frame and you go, I was buying gold on the 5-minute at 30 minutes of resistance. Doesn't really make much sense, right? So only once you actually get that confirmation on the higher time frame, then can you consider some sales? Currency chart could close back below, maybe come and retest the lows a little bit. Should be using the base of the candles, not the wicks. Gold looks like a great short scalp. I mean, if we do, if we close holding this, could we come back down and retest these this support? Yeah, possible. The intraday shorts doesn't look too bad. Doesn't look too bad. Like I say, it's a little bit tough for me to sell gold. If I'm going to sell gold, maybe we'll, I got this combine here that we can, I'll fire up a combine that we can potentially short it on. Would I short gold on my funded accounts? Not really. I wouldn't really want to short gold on my funded accounts. Could I consider a sell on a, as a combine, it's just like, a little tester and a little learner for you guys? Yeah, for sure. Especially if this 30-minute closes like this, what could we be forming here, guys? If this 30-minute closes like this, what could we be forming? Potential evening star, right? This next 30 comes up for a top wick. You could potentially short for an evening star like this. Very possible. We've got the London Open in about 10 minutes here as well. 10 minutes until this London Open. Gold's coming a little bit lower. Let's have a quick look at copper. Copper as well. Copper already coming up to squeeze this trend line. Look at this on copper. Very nice. Very nice little bounce there. Where's Sean? Is Sean here buying copper? Lovely little bounce here on copper. Yeah, well, let's see if this can close like this. The hourly, looks like it's going to potentially flip bearish. To come down and retest these lows would be pretty logical, especially if you get this nice little 15-minute fake out here as well. Let me just go down to the micros. If I'm going to trade gold today, I'm going to trade micros because these ranges are pretty big. Pretty big. So where's our levels again? So we've got our higher time frame 30-minute resistance here. We have our hourly support down here. So we would look to be playing the range. So if this 15-minute can close nice and bearish, you instantly open and instantly push up, and you could be looking to send this lower. Let's see. This hourly starting to flip bullish here on copper as well. 6 a.m. candle closed nice and bullish. 7 a.m. candles came all the way down, held this resistance. And this is where I say that I believe a lot of people are probably trying to short this on copper, and I believe they're going to get squeezed. Yeah, I don't want to do anything too crazy on this account today because I am going to take this payout today. Take the payout on this account, which I've been, like I said, I've been trading this since January. Very consistently and nicely, just using one contract, just trading gold and just documenting that, you don't need to be taking huge size and, be trading every single day, multiple times a day to be making good, consistent growth. You need consistency, and then you scale once you actually can prove to yourself that you can trade consistently. In copper buys on the 30-minute flip, nice. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's looking good. You came down, you grabbed the lows, you held the support. 30-minute flips there, so your stops are down here. You're trying to see if you can at least squeeze these highs here and probably, much higher. I think this would be a lovely first target though. A lovely first target. Which, how many ticks is that? It's about 60, 70 ticks at 1250 per tick on gold. That's pretty good. Thoughts on ES? Let's have a look. We've got about 6 minutes until we get this hourly close here. So we were looking at this on ES yesterday. We were talking about these highs here. So what did we do? We came up, we grabbed the highs and had this beautiful sell-off. Really nice sell-off yesterday. Did it make New York pretty choppy? No, New York kind of continued selling off here. Very, very well. Very nice sell off here. How was that daily close? It was bearish, but you know, did you close back below this support? Not really. So you're at a very big make or break level. Same as NASDAQ. You're at a very, very, very big make or break level. And you're also, you know, we've got to keep in the back of our minds that we are also at very, very high time frame, big, big, big support levels. Leading back from, you know, 23 to July 2023. If we just put this across, look how big this level is here. We tapped right into it, which you could probably just round up and call it about 4,900. Massive, massive level. So keep in the back of your mind, you know, we are at that major weekly support, but we are also back at major weekly resistance. This is why today's going to be very, very key to see how these weeklies are actually going to close. We've got 5 minutes until this closure on gold. So it's probably very similar to what we said on the NASDAQ. You're holding this support nicely. You're already having a pretty decent bounce here. Would I want to be selling this? Not really. You know, you came down, you grabbed the lows, you had this nice push up. You're holding some big support levels, also holding some resistance levels. So I would be careful trading in here. If you can get back below, you know, you could look to have a bit of a retracement. If you can get back above, then these highs look really nice as well. But this to me would be a range where I would be a little bit cautious. If you break back to the upside and start breaking these highs here, then you know these areas do look nice. This would be a London range that I would be a little bit careful in. So when you look at the hourly like this, you kind of then say to yourself, well, is there much point me dropping down to like the 5 minute? Not really. So I'll be watching I'll be cautious in these ranges. If you can close above and keep pushing, yeah, these highs here, which is around 54.20s, looks pretty nice. If I was going to short gold, I'd short gold at about, it depends on the stops. Let's have a look. How big would the stops be? If this 15 can close like this, stops are going to be, yeah, quite large. Let me have a look at the 5 minute. Stop loss maybe above a previous 5, for example. About 40-ish ticks. So if I trade that at 5 micros, I'm risking about $200, which I'm happy to do that. Let's see, we're going to get this London Open in about 2 minutes here, guys. Lovely, lovely push down from this resistance. So I said, you know, you don't want to be trying to take fake out buys before the candle's closed, because at any minute, you know, gold holds this level and keeps pushing down. That's what gold loves to do. You have to wait for the closures on gold. So if we close like this, grabbing these highs, holding this resistance, these next targets look pretty interesting. Same as on the currency chart as well. So yeah, I would take it at potentially 5 micros. Depends on how big my stops need to be. My stop loss will determine how much size I will take. You don't want to see it push down too much though. It's almost even worse, you know. Worth firing on a combine instead. Let me see if I can do. That took me to the same place. Gold is pushing down very, very well. Very, very well. Copper squeezing high. It'll be interesting to see it as well. Let's be watching copper as well to see if we can actually hold this level and actually start to break out. If this 30-minute closes like this, I'd be a little bit skeptical. A little bit skeptical. All of a sudden, you know, copper's gone from looking like we're going to break out to now gold may actually be the play. You may come and squeeze these lows a little bit more. How to open 2 charts at a time? You can't here. You just need to keep. You have to keep the one. I actually thought you could be. It'll log you out for the other session, so you can just keep the one. Just keep the one open. Remember, you guys on YouTube, drop a like for the Topstep channel. It's our first week doing these London streams here. We've called some amazing gold moves so far this week. We've had a very, very nice first week here. Gold has been Gold has been very, very good to us this week. Very, very good to us. I feel like you have to, you know, the reason gold's been so nice this week is because we've been buying up into these all-time highs. So now that you're actually at all-time highs, you know, you can be a little bit cautious. So this 30-minute is going to close nice and bearish. So if we drop down to the 5 minutes, have a look and see what we can see. So you're getting a nice bearish closure there. Let's see if we can come up and maybe grab some 5-minute highs and see if you can continue selling. Which would also kind of create this sort of little inverse head and shoulders as well. So if I was looking to get short here on gold, I'd like to get short above some previous 5-minute highs. Yeah, you can change. You can change the layouts here. It doesn't have to come up and grab these highs, but I would like it to, because then I can kind of judge a better stop loss. Whereas if I try and short now, where's my stop? It's going to be quite high, which is not really my style. So you've had that nice 30-minute break back below. You've had the hourly come up, held this resistance, and looking like you're going to come down and squeeze into the lows. Currency chart still has some lows as well, but the hourly's opening instantly pushed down. So I'd like to see the hourly come up a little bit. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Now, but any trades, you know, I potentially do take here today, guys. Don't feel like you have to copy. They're not signals or anything like that. I'm just showing you guys what I am doing, and hopefully you guys can learn something from it. Yeah, so you can have you can have multiple charts. Like if you did this, for example, then you can have, you know, let's say you can have the 30-minute here, and you can maybe have the 5-minute here on gold as well, if you want to do it that way. Which kind of saves you having to flick through the time frames. But, you know, once I've got my 30-minute confirmation, I know how the previous 30 minutes closed. I don't really need to focus on it again. How is that 30 close on copper? Still pretty nice. I think any rejections from here is probably trying to bring in more sellers on copper. I believe copper's going to squeeze high. I don't trade copper, so I haven't traded copper for the whole entire growth on this account, so there's no reason for me to start trading it now. But if you guys do trade copper, copper to me looks nice to continue squeezing higher. I like copper buys. All right, so what's gold doing? So we're coming back higher now. The only thing is, you know, you're on a little bit of a tough range. If we can start grabbing these highs and rejecting, then I can consider some sells. But we are in a bit of a range, a little bit of a range. Yeah, nice. Yeah, so you can unlink them, can't you? So then you could have gold here, and then you could have copper here. Is that if you turn this off? I'm not sure if you can. Oh, you can. Nice. That's nice. So we're coming up and grabbing the highs here. What did we do though? We did come down and grab the lows. So we're holding support, also holding resistance. So that kind of makes it a little bit tough for me to want to sell this just yet. It is in a bit of a tough range, which is probably not, you know, what you guys want to hear, but it's unfortunately the reality. We're holding support, we're also holding resistance. We just came down and we tapped right into previous 30-minute lows. So as soon as they get grabbed, I start to get a little bit skeptical. So I don't really want to be buying or selling this just yet. We have the London Open here as well, guys. London Open coming in. Still, how was the hourly close? The hourly close is hard for me to, you know, hard for me to kind of buy against that just yet either. Again, this really, you know, you had this really big push down here in the 15-minute time frame, which, you know, these are big moves as well, guys. This is a, you know, on the 15-minute time frame, this is a 134 tick move. That's a very, very big move. So you guys don't want to be jumping in this just yet, because you could be on the back of this and getting stopped out. 134 ticks is a very, very large candle for gold. You kind of got some highs up here. You came down. You've grabbed the lows. So there's a little bit of a range here this morning, guys. But you got time on gold. little bit of range. Yeah, that's why I don't short gold. I know, that's the thing. That's why I was a little bit, you know, I would have shorted it if I got like, you know, the picture perfect setup with a good stop loss, but I don't really feel too comfortable shorting gold. Yeah, that used to be the daily size. Yeah, exactly. Like the daily used to close with a 140 tick candle. You've just seen this 1 5-minute push up 135 ticks. Like this is huge. 4-hour time frame, a little bit choppy. And again, this is why, you know, this week has been so nice, buying into all-time highs. But once you start hitting all-time highs, you know, it's why you guys have to be a little bit patient. Don't, you know, don't ruin a good week by trying to force trades at all-time highs. Yeah, $300 scalp, yeah, nice. You know, it came down, grabbed the lows, held this little support, and a little bit of a range here. You guys take the copper. Copper still creating some space. Gold is squeezing back higher. I do like the fact that gold, you know, didn't really grab any highs before this huge push down. I'm just not sure if it's going to happen just yet. That's the thing. That's why I didn't really trade. I traded Asia yesterday, but I didn't trade New York yesterday, or London actually. I didn't actually trade London or New York yesterday. So I expect them to be pretty choppy after you have had such moves, and they very much were. So Goldie just came straight back up for them previous hourly highs there. Held the support, squeezing all the way back high, which is crazy in the first 6 minutes. In the first 6 minutes here of the London session, we've seen gold push up 170 ticks. College was the best years of my lifetime. Well, yeah, me too. Same as me. Everyone says to me, like, don't go that way. So I had a great time. Some of my best times as well. If it wasn't for actually my university, I actually only reason I got into trading was because I was at college and I was coming towards the end of my degree and I was trying to figure out what do I want to actually do with my life. So if it wasn't for that, I would have never been here. 15-minute orb strategy work with the London Open. It's not something I've ever used, man, but I would certainly test it and see if it does. It's not something I have ever used personally. I do just use pure price action here on gold. What a rip again on gold, guys. Look at this. This is huge. You know, 1 minute we're pushing. You know, we're selling off 150 ticks. In 1 5-minute candle, we're pushing up another 170. Like, massive, 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 massive. Be careful in these ranges, guys. Like I say, you know, volume sounds all well and good. You know, we need volume to trade, but too much volume, if you're on the wrong side of it, you know, you can ruin a good week pretty quick. So I'm happy to sit here and answer any questions that you guys have. Goldie, Copper's still looking like he's trying to squeeze. Gold is crazy, yeah. Gold is crazy. It's been a phenomenal week, and then this day today, so I haven't traded Asia today. I didn't even really look at the charts in Asia today. I had a brief look this morning, you know, and I kind of seen you'd already pushed up, so I was like, that's all right. I've traded Asia every single day this week, so I'm happy to just leave Asia today. You know, knowing when to trade and knowing when not to trade is, you know, what separates consistently losing to consistently making money. Blue 10 combines in the last few days. Need to work on my psychology. Yeah, I'd say focus on risk management as well, man. 10 combines to lose in a few days is a lot. Like I said to you guys, you know, this, let me see if I can fire up my combine growth with you guys as well. I know I shared it earlier on in the week, but for anyone who wasn't maybe tuning in there, I'll share with you guys how I approach my combines as well, and the reason that I do it this way. Where's a combine, for example? Let me find one for you guys. I'll find the one that I use to pass this account, because I think it's important. What's this one? Is this it? Let me see if I can share this with you guys. Yeah, here. Let me see. Can I share this with you guys? You guys see the combine screen here? I think so. You know, I think a lot of people, when they do the combines, they try and focus on passing them, you know, in 2 days or 3 days or, you know, a week, and you trade the max contract size. And I always say, and a lot of the Topstep guys have been talking about it recently as well, it's like, if you can't consistently trade using 1 contract, trading 5 contract isn't going to help a thing. And, you know, trying to pass your combine in like 2-3 days, there's a high chance if you get the funded account, you're also just going to lose it as well. So that's why I just focus on the same consistency on my combine as I do here on my funded accounts, because I know if I'm consistent on my combine, well, then that consistency is going to follow through to just my overall trading performance. And this is the same consistency, same accounts rate that you guys can see here to get this funded account followed through from here. So if we were to add this growth to this chart, you know, this would be like for the past, I started this in December. So from December until the 11th of April, you know, my equity curve is slowly going to, don't get me wrong, you know, I have the dips, I have the losing days, but I'm consistently growing. You know, I have the losing days, but I'm consistently growing. And one thing that, you know, I kind of messed up a lot, you know, when first getting into funded accounts is, you know, just rushing it and trying to pass today, or like, I need to get that big jackpot trade today, or, you know, I saw this person on social media making this much money and now, you know, I need to get there today. But I promise you, if you just focus on becoming a good trader as opposed to focusing on, you know, making so much money so quick, you will get there better and you'll actually pick up good habits. So, you know, if you did lose 10 combines this week, focus on risk management as well. Focus on the slow progress and the slow consistency. Because it doesn't matter if you make money today or you lose money today. What matters is how do you perform over the past month, over the past quarter, over the past couple of weeks. Making money today will not determine whether you're a consistently profitable trader or not. How you perform over the next week, over the next month, that is what's really going to prove to yourself that you can trade. And then, you know, once you prove that you can get this growth, then you're like, okay, cool, you know, I've had a fantastic equity growth for the past 2 months. Now let me see if I can trade a little bit more size. Were you more aggressive in your approach in the beginning? 100%. Absolutely. I'd be way more aggressive in my approach in the beginning. And I'd be trying to pass these accounts, you know, like today. And I would just always lose. Or if I have passed combines before in like 3 days, but you always lose them. You always lose them. So, and it also, not only do you lose them, you also waste time, you also waste money, and you also build bad habits. And sometimes it's easy to pick up bad habits in trading, but it's even harder to actually get rid of them. Letting go of things that don't work in trading is actually very, very hard. So I try and, you know, remove as many bad habits as I can, because I know if I start getting into the bad habits and, you know, I keep trading max size on every single trade, that it's going to make me think that that's normal and that's what I should be doing every single time, and I just go round and round and round in circles. So build good habits that are actually going to help you become a consistently profitable trader, and before you know it, you will get that consistent growth, which I've had there on all of the combines and this funded account that we've had since January as well. So I don't care about the P&L or anything like that. What I care about is consistency and consistent growth. Is copper squeezing higher? Let's have a look. Is copper squeezing the highs? Yeah, look at that. Beautiful, guys. Look at that. Well done. Like I say, I don't trade copper. I haven't traded copper on this whole entire funded account, so it didn't really make too much sense for me to start trading it now. But this is what I was saying. How many people do you guys think would have been shorting copper, stop sitting just above this high? Look at this big play down. A lot. So the good opportunity here was actually on the 30-minute. I don't trade the 5-minute on copper because I find it get a little bit too messy. But look at this 30-minute. Came down, liquidated the lows, held support. Lovely, lovely, lovely push. Great first target. So nice to see copper following the plan today. If you guys did take that copper push, well done. Really, really, really nice play. I was saying a lot of people will probably trying to short this trend line. And if a lot of people are trying to short the trend line, you want to be buying up into where most people are trying to sell. Very, very nice push there. Looks like it's having a much nicer push than Goldie. Oh, wow, look at this. Goldie is pushing as well. Copper's pushing, gold is pushing. Gold is nowhere near as clean as copper though, which is fine. You know, Gold's been incredible all week. But yeah, that was beautiful, guys. If you took it, well done. Lovely call. If I had a little combine, I would have fired it up just to have a little stab just to show you guys. But you know, you guys are seeing this happen in real time. It's only our first week here, calling these moves here on Topstep. But look at that. Lovely push. Again, just trying to understand what are most people trying to do and how can I take advantage of it. Most people, you know, who Google how to trade trend lines. You guys know I explained this the other way. And this is just, again, this is not to say this is how the markets move. This is just how I like to approach the markets. You know, you look at trend lines. You know, you try and trade this on trend lines. You try and, you know, short here, put your stop loss just above. Unfortunately, that doesn't work too much anymore. So you likely see price come up and squeeze these highs before either continuing to push higher or coming right back down. And what I'm trying to understand is, if I can know that, you know, at any scenario, this is likely going to happen, well, fantastic. I want to look to buy up into that. And I manage my take profit at the trendline liquidity areas. So it just happened here on copper. It's happened all week here on euro that we spoke about as well before it even happened. And it's happened a good few times on gold this week as well. So it happened there beautifully on the euro. It's just happened right in front of us here today on copper as well. Coming down, people jumping in these shorts. Price held the resistance. Lovely squeeze higher. Very nice push. Probably should have traded copper. Look at this. Goldie's got a 15-minute fake out there, guys. A little bit. It's very choppy though. Very choppy. You broke below. You broke back above. You're trying to squeeze these much higher. But yeah, I was definitely more aggressive in the beginning, but it never pays. I get aggressive in my trades when, you know, for example, if I take a decent payout here across my Topstep accounts, and I've, you know, taken out a couple of thousand, you know, then I can maybe use these accounts to be a little bit more aggressive because I've traded them for the past 4 months. I've got payouts on them. You know, now I can maybe take some riskier plays because I can afford to. What I won't do is, you know, take aggressive plays when I haven't even yet proven to myself that I can actually consistently trade. With copper, would you wait for the 5-minute retest? I don't use the 5-minute when trading copper, man. I've never used the 5-minute on copper. It doesn't really make too much sense to me. All I would have just used is, you know, as soon as you see price grabbing the lows and holding it, same as the way we trade gold, like that would have been enough. You put your risk down there, you know, you have your first targeted management point here. I don't use the 5-minute for copper personally. I find it can be a little bit too choppy on copper. I love the 5-minute on gold, but on copper it can be a little bit tough. Combine day for sure. Yeah, combine day. Look at this, guys. You know, you're having these, and you know, when we're zoomed out, it's like, oh, you're not really doing too much. But when you actually zoom in, like these are very large moves. Like this is, like I say, this is almost 200 ticks in 15 minutes. 150 ticks down, 200 back up, and you know, an instant 90 back down. So be very careful trading gold today, guys. Gold has been phenomenal all week. Today at all-time highs is not the day to try and go all in. We've had all week to take advantage of these markets. Gold at all-time high resistance. Just be a little bit more cautious. The max is, as soon as I can maybe say get to like 5+%, I start looking to take something out. Which with this one here now, you know, maybe we'll take out probably half and then see how we go with the other half. But the thing is, I always have other funded accounts ready to go. So I have about 4 funded accounts here on Topstep, which usually, as you guys saw me this week, I'm copying across all of them. So I'm trading 1 contract here on gold, copied across 4 accounts. I'm actually trading 4 contracts. So this week, you know, up, what's this week? 1,100. So times by 4, 4,000, 4,400. But on one specific account, nothing insane, you know, 3, 4, 5,000, reward myself, and then see where we end up. Look at this on gold, guys. This is huge. This hourly resistance is holding very, very strong. You're also grabbing the previous hourly highs again, which is huge. Getting some big volume here on gold. Big volume, but also big ranges. Oh, what do we have here actually? Well, let's see before it happens. What do we have here? What did we just talk about on copper? What did we just talk about on the euro? We spoke about this trendline liquidity. Well, if we start coming down here and rejecting on gold, and we start to bounce, what could that bring in? That could bring in a lot of buyers. And what could then potentially happen? We could see gold come all the way back lower. So I copy trade four Topstep accounts. They're just not linked right now because I unlinked them because I'm about to take a payout. But if you go back to all of the streams this week, yeah, I'm always copy trading them. I always copy trade like 3 to 4 and always leave some in the background ready to go. Because, you know, I'm not a perfect trader. You know, there's going to be times where you do something wrong and you might lose a fund account, for example. But as long as I've, you know, got my payout and I have ones in the background ready to go, fantastic. So gold could be building up some trendline liquidity here, guys. We've came up, we've grabbed the previous hourly highs, we're squeezing back lower. You know, it's going to be tough for me to want to short it, given that we have been so bullish. But I wouldn't be too surprised to see it squeeze this trend line. See if you can squeeze, if you can come back lower to it. What I want to see is you come down, you hold it, see if you can bounce, and then see if you can squeeze it. You know, any rejection will bring in, you know, people who are potentially trying to long. Stop sitting down just below, which is why you may squeeze it a little bit more. But yeah, be careful on gold today, guys. Don't force gold too much. Oh, look at that, look at that. We tapped into highs, and what did we also do? We also instantly rejected. So if you guys did take that trade, you also got out at a very, very nice point. You got out where? Right at the previous high, which we came up and liquidated beautifully. Beautifully. Came down, held this level. People try and short this trend line. Look at that, that's a phenomenal push as well. Again, that's a huge move for copper. 100 ticks in a London session is very, very, very big. Very, very, very big. When would you trade full mini? I usually do pretty much all of the time, except this week. Where are we? Except this week, because we have been having... Oh, you can't see it because my... Oh, I just tried to duck as if I would duck, you'd be able to see it. I have been pretty much, for the whole entire growth of this and all of this here, this has pretty much been one contract every single time. Only this week I've decided to reduce my size. So this week I'm trading half risk, and I've still been up $1,000 this week. So if I was trading my normal risk, I'd be up over 2,000 this week. But it just didn't really make much sense for me to, you know, oversize this week and ruin the past 4 months worth of gains, because the markets have been, you know, very, very, very volatile this week. Which is why I keep saying to you guys, you know, if you have survived this week and you've maybe even made money this week, or you've maybe taken break-even week, even a little loss this week, you've done very, very well, because all markets have been just absolutely insane. Like if you look at this week on gold, compared to the historical price action, this is probably one of the biggest weeks that I don't even know if we've, you know, when was the last time we had a huge week? What was this week on gold? 1,000, call it 1,500 ticks. This week's 2,700 ticks. Like, it's probably one of the biggest weeks I think I have ever seen on gold. So, you know, I'm used to trading, especially in the London session, which you guys will see as we trade London more together. London, I'm usually trading 30 to 50 to maybe 100 tick ranges, maybe 100 tick ranges if you're lucky. And that's why, you know, most of my trades, you know, I'm just taking my $300 and my $250. I'm taking my small stabs because that's usually what the ranges that we're working with. However, you know, we just measure what gold has done in the past like 15 minutes. You know, it's like 200 ticks, which is unheard of in the London session. If we go back to normal times, you know, normal times like when we're trading, let's say here, for example, This is usually what gold does. You're more so working with like these ranges, which is like, you know, 40 tick ranges. That's usually what you're working with on gold. You know, you sometimes do get these bigger 100 tick moves, which, what was this on gold? This is in London session. That's a 160 tick move. Look how big that move is in comparison to, you know, what gold's done the past 15 minutes. And that's why, you know, I'm very happy with my, you know, 20 to 30 tick days on gold, which, you know, if you look at the markets now, you go, oh, 20, 30 ticks, that's, you know, that's nothing. In these markets, it's not, but in normal markets, if you can consistently take out 30, 40 ticks on gold in the London session, you're doing well. A one contract, that's, you know, $300 to $400. But gold has not been normal by any means this week, by any means. So I've just decided to reduce my size this week, and I've been pretty happy with that. Obviously, you know, up $1,000 this week, I could say to myself, like if I just traded my full size, I'd be up 2,000 this week. What if I was down red on the week and I've just blown on my progress? I wouldn't be saying that. So you got to think logically. Sammy's waking up. Can you call out the price you're looking for a bounce on gold? I know you're locked in, so ignore it if you... No, all good, Robbie. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Let's have a look. So I'm kind of just trying to see, like, it's tough on gold. I am being very careful on gold today. We're just creating such aggressive ranges. But I would be looking to see if gold can maybe come down and hit the lows again at around 32.12-ish. Which would also sit you below previous hourly lows maybe. Because, you know, it depends. This hourly closure, if you start closing back above, let's say, start closing back above here, which is around 32.20, well, then you may come and retest the all-time highs. You're going to have to see how this hourly closes, though. If this hourly does close above, cool, you may have fake out buys into the London session. But if you guys are maybe new to trading gold and you maybe haven't traded gold so far this week, it's just my recommendation that I don't think you should try go all in today on gold. Gold has been phenomenal this week, but now that we're up at these all-time highs, you know, you're getting some pretty aggressive price action. Pretty aggressive price action. Platinum trading, nice. I've never actually traded platinum. I know some people who do trade. I personally have never traded it. Is it anything like copper and gold? Where are we at? We're at some major levels. Where are you at? Wow, look at that. Huge aggressive ranges. Huge aggressive ranges. We are at, you know, again, 2020 support, which is huge. Does it move well in London? You guys maybe have traded this more than me. I have never really traded this. If this was similar to gold, I'd be seeing this come down here, so I'll be looking for price to come up and maybe retest some highs. I've never traded platinum personally. Let's have a look here. Goldie. Yeah, see the support too. Yeah, what is really important right now is how this 30-minute closes. Is this 30-minute going to close back above the support at 3223? Or are we going to wick back down below it and then come back down and retest these lows? Either way, you know, if we close like this, grabbing the previous 30-minute highs, you kind of sometimes just have to take it for what it is. We have our support here, we have resistance here, and this is a large range that if you get caught up in, you know, you could find yourself in some pretty tricky waters. Taking a long one PR on a 4-hour chart. Yeah, nice. Yeah, it looks good to swing it. I've never actually traded platinum. Closed copper for around 80 ticks. Amazing, man. Was that off the trendline liquidity? 80 ticks on copper. Amazing. If you took it off the trendline liquidity from that 30 flip, yeah, 80 ticks. That's incredible. 80 ticks, one contract, 12.50 per tick. That's amazing, man. Well done. That's your trade for the day. Oh, you're in this now. Nice. On the 4-hour, yeah, beautiful, man. Yeah, nice. I like that trade. Nice play, man. Nice play. Very nice play. Yeah, nice. Yeah, you took the trendline liquidity. Well done, man. Followed the plan, and you saw it and you executed it. Well done. Lovely push. Analysis was pretty much perfect there on copper. Gold a little bit more difficult, but yeah, copper looking beautiful. Yeah, Goldie's going to be tough today, guys. I'm going to be honest. I'm personally not going to trade gold today. I don't want to ruin a good week by trying to force trade on gold today. Do I think you can come up and squeeze these all-time highs? Yeah, I think so. It's not looking too easy in here just yet, though. Pressing your setup on ES at the moment. It's counter the trend, but it worked. Oh, nice. Let's have a look, man. Let's have a look. Yeah, you did. You did. Remember I said, you know, if this 30-minute closes bearish, this 30-minute here, if this 30-minute closes bearish, remember I said that the hourly would be leaving a pretty decent wick to the highs. So if we now go look at that hourly time frame, you did. You came up, you liquidated these highs, held the resistance, and now you're having a pullback. I wouldn't say it's that counter trend, to be honest, man. I could be pretty neutral on ES. I think that's a good little pullback trade. You know, you had this nice little continuation yesterday, so at least you're not, you know, you're not fighting this. You're not trying to trade against this. The market's pushed down yesterday, so you can still follow what happened yesterday. I think that's a good play. Lovely, lovely play. You came up, you liquidate the highs, you held the resistance. So what you wouldn't want to be doing is just shorting up here for no reason. You let this candle close, showing you that this resistance is being held, confirming your thought process, you know, and now you're probably looking to already manage at these levels here. Again, probably a nicer play than gold so far this morning, which is not what we see very often, but yeah, good job on actually executing it. And she was at 67.5. Oh, nice, you got it even higher. Look at that, even higher. So you got it before. Did you get it before the hourly close? Maybe you dropped down to 15 or something. Maybe it's the 15 close bearish. That's the only thing with these liquidity plays is there's nothing to say, you know, we couldn't have held this resistance and just pushed higher, like this, for example. So to me, it's only really confirmed once you do get that closure. So as soon as I see this candle close, then I'm like, okay, cool. Now this liquidity is being held. Then I can short from here. You know, I can risk off the previous high, and then I can take it nice and lower. Because sometimes if you try and short too early, there's nothing to say, you know, we can't just be holding this resistance to squeeze higher. So it's one thing to note. If you're playing these liquidity levels, wait for price to actually close back below the levels, confirm that what you're thinking could be correct, and then you can look for the pullbacks. Same as a lot of the gold trades we took this week. So 30-minute here on gold, guys, is very, 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 very choppy. Probably choppiest we've probably seen it all week, which is a little bit expected. You know, it wouldn't be too surprising to see gold create some ranges up here. That's why it's good just to sit here and look at some other markets with you guys. Fantastic play on copper though. I've really enjoyed trading the 4-hour time frame. Pretty clear direction. Yeah, they're nice for the swing trades, man. The swing trades can be. I love running swing trades on top of my my Topstep trades here as well. I take a lot of swing trades on my personal. I like the swing trades for sure. Kind of teaches you a lot more patience and discipline. Like I came from a swing trading background, which I kind of was my preferred approach. Like if I went and came on trading and just went to try and, you know, scalp the 1 minute, I'd find it so much more difficult because I just need more time to think about what I'm actually doing. See you next week. Yeah, all good, man. See you next week. Appreciate you tuning in. Hope you have a good weekend. But yeah, with copper pushing up there, guys, and Goldie creating a bit of a range, had some lovely calls on the copper buys today. A decent push down on the S&P as well. Lovely push there on the copper into the trend line. We had some fantastic calls on the euro this week. We've had some fantastic calls on gold. And look at the euro, guys, absolutely phenomenal. You guys go back and watch the stream on the Topstep channel from Monday, where we spoke about this trendline liquidity. Fantastic week here on gold as well. By the time you guys see me next Monday, I'm going to take a payout of this account. So we'll be taking a payout and we'll continue to trade these accounts as well. But I will wrap up for you guys there. Goldie is creating some pretty aggressive ranges, and I don't want you guys to sit here and watch it and feel like you have to trade gold. I would be cautious on gold today. Have a look at maybe some other markets. But if you guys have had a good week, don't feel like you need to force it on a Friday. If you've had a good week, good job. You've done very, very well. You've survived some incredibly tough markets. So amazing work, guys. I will wrap it up there and leave you guys for the week. What an amazing first week it is here on the Topstep YouTube channel. I appreciate all of you guys who have taken the time to tune in. remember, drop a like for the YouTube channel here on Topstep. And I'll see you guys same time again all week next week as well. 7 till 9 a.m. ish London time. I'll see you guys there. Have a good weekend. Cheers, guys. Bye-bye.